Boston, January 2022. A snowstorm blankets the quiet suburb of Canton. And in the icy silence of dawn, a body is found, motionless, cold, lying outside a stately home. It's the body of John O'Keefe, a beloved Boston police officer with 16 years on the force. But here's the twist: the house. It belongs to a fellow cop. And the woman accused of leaving him there to die is his girlfriend. Her name: Karen Red. A respected finance professor, now at the center of a chilling mystery that has ripped through law enforcement, media, and the very soul of a community. Was this a tragic accident, or a well-orchestrated cover-up? Some say she's a scapegoat. Others whisper about loyalty, secrets, and the blue wall of silence. What really happened that night? And why are so many afraid to talk? This is not just a crime story. It's a test of trust, of justice itself. Hit like, subscribe, and let's go. Before the headlines, before the courtroom sketches and the viral hashtags, there was just Karen. Karen Red lived a quiet, orderly life in Mansfield, Massachusetts. A finance professor at Bentley University, she was known for her sharp intellect, meticulous routines, and quiet weekends spent grading papers or watching football with her boyfriend, John. Their world was ordinary: two professionals, steady careers, cozy dinners, small-town rhythms. John O'Keefe, a seasoned Boston police officer, was respected by colleagues and adored by his niece and nephew, whom he helped raise after tragedy struck their family. He and Karen had been together for a couple of years, solid, by most accounts. Friends saw them as settled, maybe even heading toward marriage. But beneath the surface, something flickered. Whispers of tension. An unspoken strain. And then, one snowy night in January, everything would change. A routine evening. A ride in the car. And a moment that would unravel everything. It was late on January 28, 2022. Snow piled high along Canton's quiet streets as Karen and John drove toward a house party hosted by fellow officers. What should have been a simple night out ended in confusion. Karen says John went inside alone. She waited in the car, for minutes. Hours? Her memory, hazy. The next morning, something felt wrong. John's phone didn't ring. No text. No call. She drove back, retracing her steps, heart pounding. And then, there he was, face down in the snow, outside the house, motionless. His body, stiff. Bloody. She screamed. Called 911. But the police response wasn't what she expected. Cold. Reserved. Distant. Like they already knew something she didn't. Questions swirled. Why didn't anyone inside help him? Why hadn't they seen him outside? Karen's confusion turned to fear. Something was off. And she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was already rewriting the story. This was just the beginning. In the days that followed, the snow around 34 Fairview Road had long melted, but the questions only deepened. Karen was no longer just grieving. She was watching. Listening. And something wasn't right. Her phone was taken. Her car seized. Investigators zeroed in, fast. But instead of comfort, she felt cornered. The narrative shifted subtly, then swiftly. She was driving. She was drunk. She hit him. Left him. Covered it up. But Karen insisted John had walked inside. She never saw him fall. Never even heard a thud. Then came the photos: a shattered taillight on her Lexus SUV. A matching wound on John's skull. But how could that explain the blood found near the house's front door? Or the injuries inconsistent with a hit and run? Each day, more rumors surfaced. Private texts leaked. forensic timelines blurred. Karen found herself doubting everything, even her own memory. Was she crazy, or was someone carefully building a version of the truth without her? The air around her thickened. With silence. With suspicion. With something darker. Then came the text. Buried deep in phone records, Karen's defense team uncovered something jarring, a message allegedly sent by a party guest the morning after John's death. It read, "John was dead in the house. Not outside. Not in the snow. In the house." That one line shattered everything. If true, it meant John hadn't died where he was found. He had been moved. Staged. And suddenly, Karen's version didn't sound so far-fetched. She wasn't just mourning anymore, she was investigating. Quietly. Desperately. She hired her own experts. Traced timelines. Dug into social connections, police ties, party attendees. And then, another detail, surveillance footage missing. Phone pings that didn't match. A list of partygoers, nearly all law enforcement or their families. Karen now believed the story she was being fed was more than flawed, it was crafted. And if that message was real, someone knew far more than they were saying. The ground beneath her story cracked open. And the fall had just begun. Karen's world fractured further when a forensic expert revealed a critical detail. The blood patterns found near John's body didn't match a fall from a car accident. Instead, they suggested a violent struggle inside the house. The implication was chilling. This wasn't a tragic accident or a moment of reckless negligence. This was something darker, something planned. The pieces of the puzzle started fitting into a disturbing picture of silence, secrecy, and possible betrayal. Karen felt the weight of it all crash down on her, anger at those who should have protected the truth, terror at the possibility of being trapped in a web far beyond her control, and a burning sense of responsibility to fight for justice, not just for John, but for herself. She was no longer just a grieving girlfriend. She was a woman pushed to the edge, desperate to peel back the layers hiding the truth. And the truth was far more dangerous than she ever imagined. As the courtroom buzzed with whispers and flashing cameras, Karen stood at a crossroads. Every step she took peeled back another layer of the dark truth, one that powerful forces fought fiercely to bury. The police department's tight-lipped silence morphed into veiled threats. Friends became distant. Her phone was tapped. Late-night visits by unknown men left her rattled. The line between justice and survival blurred. Karen had to choose, stay silent and protect what little she had left, or risk everything to expose a conspiracy that reached deeper than a single night or a single death. Her world shrank to a perilous edge, caught between fear and courage. The question echoed relentlessly: who could she trust when those sworn to uphold the law might be the very ones hiding the truth? What would she sacrifice? What price would justice demand? The next move could change everything. One cold evening in March 2023, Karen's apartment was broken into. Nothing was stolen, except her sense of safety. Shattered glass, a warning scrawled on the wall: stop digging or disappear. Her allies vanished, afraid to be tainted by association. Even John's closest friends kept their distance, swallowed by silence. The weight of isolation crushed her, threatening to break the fragile resolve she clung to. Every shadow seemed to hide an enemy, every phone call a trap. It felt like the end, a long, dark tunnel with no light. Yet, amidst the despair, a sliver of hope flickered. A retired detective, disillusioned by the department's silence, reached out in secret, offering documents and whispered truths. The fight wasn't over. Karen was no longer alone. The question now was whether this fragile alliance could pierce the darkness, and what price they'd all pay to uncover the real story. In the shadowed aftermath of isolation and threats, Karen found an unexpected strength rising from within. The retired detective's quiet guidance became a lifeline, leading her to hidden evidence, security footage from a neighbor's forgotten camera, overlooked by the official investigation. The grainy images showed John alive inside the house well after the party ended, contradicting the prosecution's timeline. This revelation shifted the entire narrative, breathing new life into Karen's defense and hope into her shattered world. With renewed courage, she faced the mounting pressure, no longer a victim but a fighter determined to reclaim her story. The truth, fragile but unyielding, began to surface, promising not just justice for John, but a reckoning for the shadows that cloaked the night. For Karen, it was a moment of clarity and triumph, a chance to rewrite the final chapter, even as the battle continued. The courtroom doors may have closed for now, but the echoes of that cold January night still resonate, through Karen's fight, through a community shaken, and through a system stretched to its limits. Karen is no longer the quiet professor or grieving girlfriend. She's become a symbol of resistance against silence and shadowed truths. Yet, the questions remain. Was justice served? Or is the real story still buried beneath layers of fear and power? What would you do if the very people sworn to protect you seemed to hide the darkest secrets? The tale of John O'Keefe and Karen Red is far from over, and it asks each of us to look closer, listen harder, and never accept easy answers. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below, subscribe to stay with us as it unfolds, and hit that like button, because some mysteries demand our attention. What do you believe happened that night?